Happy Easter, April the 1st, 2018. Good morning and welcome to another edition of Community Issues. I'm your host, Omar Rashida. Joining me live at Least Access Studios, I have two distinguished guests. They are members of the Delaware Africa Caribbean Coalition. I have the Vice President, Mr. Thomas Grant, and I have the President, Dr. Alou. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, the Delaware Africa Caribbean Coalition, why don't you give us a brief history of how it got started and what are some of the things that the organization does?
Yeah, Delaware African Caribbean Coalition is an organization of African community. As you know, we have a significant population of Africans that reside in the state of Delaware. Some of them are business owners, creating job opportunity for people, and some of them are doctors, nurses, as well as engineers, contributing to the economic growth of the state of Delaware. But unfortunately, we found out that people are not together, you know. So we find a way to bring people together to fight a common cause. That was the reason why we created DACC in December of 2016 to serve as platform for African businesses to be able to network among each other, to also serve as a means of liaising with the government, private individual, as well as a not-for-profit organization in sourcing for funding as well as resources needed to promote African businesses. Then also serve as a platform to be able to liaise between the state of Delaware and the continent of Africa, as well as Caribbean continent. Shortly after the formation of DACC in December of 2016, we approached the government for a commission to be formed so as to be able to effectively communicate with the government in promoting the interests of Africa. After back and forth negotiation with the government, the commission was approved and passed into law in April of 2017. And since that time, we've been engaging ourselves in different activities, such as bringing important personnel, as well as important functionary from Africa. My vice president will talk more about the
You know, I was looking at your brochures, and you had some priorities there, and some awesome priorities. So I want you to talk to the viewing audience about what your priorities are in the organization.
Well, primarily what we want to do is that vision is to create that relationship, we call it, between our different countries of birth and our state of life. There are a great number of us who have been in the state here for over 20 plus years now, and we want to do that. We also want to educate our folks who come from both the Caribbean and African countries that live in the state of Delaware on how to go about navigating everything that in the state that can benefit the people of Delaware, along with the people of our different African and Caribbean countries. We want to uplift everyone that we can possibly can, and our doors are always open. We say, whosoever will, let him come. In so doing, as my president did say, that what we did do last year, we brought in the then vice president of the first independent African country in Africa, of Liberia, into the state of Delaware, and we connected him with the government officials in the state of Delaware.
Right. So someone's watching right now, and they want to join the organization. What is the criteria for joining the Delaware Africa Caribbean Coalition?
Well, primarily, we invite you to our meetings to come and see and listen to what we have and what we have to present. You can give us a call at 302-290-5178. You can also go on our website, it's www.dacc.de.org, and you will get more information about the organization. And we are a non-for-profit and voluntary organization, so we entertain all talents that one has. Said, whosoever will, let him come. And when you come, please do not bury your talent. Bring your talent forth so that others can benefit from that.
To be more specific, to be a member, you have to be of African descent and reside in the state of Delaware.
Okay.
So automatically you're going to be a member.
So in other words, when you look at the title of the organization, you don't necessarily have to be African or Caribbean, but you can be the different under the umbrella of different cultures.
Yeah, umbrella of different culture, but of African descent that reside specifically in the state of Delaware.
Now, I look at this and I see this organization as a very professional organization. Among the members that you have, what are some professions that they come? What are some of their backgrounds? And do you have like engineers? I mean, quite sure doctors. Do you have athletes? What does the organization consist of in terms of educational and employment backgrounds?
Of all walks of life. Like you see right here, our president of the organization is Dr. Alo. He's a medical doctor.
Right.
And at the same token, too, he also an educator. He has a school in Newark, a nursing school in Newark. So that is also helping in the medical field in the state of Delaware. If you're an accountant, you can also be a part. Even if you, for one like me, I started in my humble life of being someone who was selling simple thing as shoe polish. So you can even become you can even be a salesman and you be a part of the organization. Whether you have a GED or you have a master's degree or a PhD, your talent is still recognized in the organization.
So what we're doing essentially now is to bring out these professionals together so that they can network among each other and be able to form a very solid front and then be able to serve the interest of Africa in the state of Delaware.
You know, and then speaking as an African American, some of the things I've heard people say, and I'm quite sure you might have heard some people say, is that, you know, what the African Americans don't like Africans, or Africans don't like African Americans. And what this organization does, Mr. Grant, is that it brings African Americans and Africans together.
Yes, that's what it does. And some of the things is, I don't like to use certain words. Some of the things is that because it's an assumption. But when people sit down and get to listen to each other, get to know that we all have the same common goal. So we want to bridge that gap, and we want to take away that stigma that may be in there that is not actually real, not actually true.
Right. Now, you gentlemen have an upcoming program next month.
Yes.
You want to talk about it?
Well, by next month, we'll be welcoming the First Lady of Gambia. That will be between 26, 27, and 28. We have various activities already lined up for her. And she will be coming along with her entourage and also the Secretary of Agriculture, so as to discuss bilateral relationship between Gambia and the state of Delaware. And also, her own, she has a healthcare initiative that she wants to introduce, and we're looking at a way whereby we can assist by linking her up with the necessary healthcare facility in the state of Delaware. So we've been liaising with the government and with the different personnel that will help us in making that happen. Okay,
and so where's it going to be held? How can people contact you for tickets?
It's going to be held at the White Clay Country Club up in Wilmington, which is right next to the Delaware Park. And again, if you need tickets, you can call us at 302-290-5178 for tickets. We have a general admission, which is $100. We have the VIP, which is $200. And we'll also have sponsors, which is $500 and above, to enable us to reach our goal reference to the healthcare initiative for the First Lady of the Gambia.
Right. And Dr. Aliu, you know, running an organization is not easy. You run into different personalities. You're trying to grow the organization. So if you were to be president within the next 5 years, and I'm going to say 3 to 5 years, where would you like the organization to go?
Yeah, we have mission and we have goal that we want to achieve. The mission being that we want to position Africa in the state of Delaware. We want to promote the African businesses in the state of Delaware, and we also want to make sure that Africa is a potential continent to do a lot of businesses, which of course Americans are not aware of that yet. So we want to open the doorway for people to be able to transact a lot of business between Africa and the state of Delaware. Those are all the plans that we have been putting in place, and we're definitely going to achieve those things before in a couple of years to come.
Right. Now, both of you gentlemen are from the motherland. What part of the motherland are you from, and what brought you here in the United States?
Well, I'm from the country called Liberia, and most time when I introduce myself to folks, I always say I'm an African Liberian American a citizen, if I should add that there. But my country of birth is the country called Liberia, and Liberia is the first independent African country that was never colonialized. As a matter of fact, the very first president of the Republic of Liberia came from the state of Virginia.
Okay. Wow. Okay, Dr. Aliu?
Yeah, I came from Nigeria, the most populous African countries.
Okay.
It's like it's been wonderful experience here in America, and again, we've been trying to see how we can also link Nigeria with the state of Delaware.
Okay, we have about a minute remaining. You want to have any closing comments about the, remind folks once again about the program next month?
Yes, also, if you look on the back of our brochure here, you see flags of different countries. These are countries that have already come into the DACC, Delaware Africa Caribbean Coalition, and the members are a part. So as we said, last year we brought in the Vice President from the Republic of Liberia. This year we are bringing in the First Lady from the Gambia. Your country, or your Caribbean country, your African country could be next in line that could be coming to the state of Delaware. The program that we're having in this month of April, since today is April the 1st, is that it's an initiative healthcare reception that we're having at the White Clay Center here in Wilmington, and it's only $100 for entry, and VIP is $200, and for those who want to be sponsors for the good work that we are doing within the community in the state of Delaware, it's only $500.
All right, on that note, we'll close out this segment. Gentlemen, thank you both for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Live right here on Lisa SS Channel 28, you're watching Community Issues. I'm going to take a short break, and I'll return. I'm going to be having Linwood Jackson. Stay tuned for more of Community Issues.